Good morning and welcome to the Jefferson County Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, May 6th, 2021, 9:30 a.m. First off, I'd like to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes. If there are no objections for the minutes for April 12th, 2021, public hearing on solar facilities, they are approved. If there are no objections for the minutes on April 15th, 2021, regular meeting, they are approved.
Excuse me,
If there are any
Mr.
objections for April 20th, 2021, lay the levy, they will be approved. And April 28th, are there any objections? I know we have one.
Yes, we have one correction to the April 28th, 2021 public hearing ATV ordinance. Commissioner Stollifer is not listed as being present, and that's the only change I see.
With that change, if we could add that to our minutes or correct the minutes, if there are no other objections to April 28th, 2021 public hearing ATV ordinance, they are approved.
I would like to,
Approval of requisitions, May 6th, 2021, for the amount of $43,057. If there are no objections, that is approved. For the approval of accounts payable, April 22nd, 2021, for the amount of $27,770.94. If there are no objections, that is approved.
Commissioner
For
Stollifer,
April 29th, 2021, for the amount of $5,871.15. If there are no objections, it is approved. And for May 6th, 2021, for the amount of $21,737. If there are no objections, that is approved. For approval of manual checks, April 23rd, 2021, $27,770.94. If there are no objections, that is approved. For manual checks, April 30th, 2021, for the amount of $601,570.08. If there are no objections, that is approved. And for May 7th, on manual checks for May 7th, 2021, the amount of $3,297.39. If there are no objections, that is approved. For the approval of payroll for April 15th, 2021, the gross amount of $401,127.76. If there are no objections, that's approved. And for the payroll for April 29th, for the gross amount of $412,592.67. If there are no objections, that is approved. All right. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay.
Commissioner Stollifer,
We can't hear you, you're muted.
I'm not muted on my end.
No, she's not. Very loud.
Okay, we can hear you now, I think.
Okay. I had an edit to the special session minutes. I believe sometime during that special session, you recused yourself, Commissioner Stollifer, and I think that's important to have in the minutes to help explain why there was a 3-to-1 vote. You know, it wasn't all 5 commissioners. I can't tell you exactly if it was right at the beginning or exactly where you recused yourself.
Which meeting was that, Ms. Stan?
The very first one in your notebook. That's special.
Okay, yeah, so if, I thought that was correct. I glanced over that. If that is, I'm glad you brought up that correction. If it's not, I won't go back and look at it, but if it is not correct, please make the minutes correct that I did recuse myself from that agenda item. Are there any other objections for April 12th, 2021? Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to move on to Angie Banks, approval of employment. Do we have Angie online?
We do.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I'm requesting approval for employment for Megan Height, starting at $33,000, grade 2 clerk, 40 hours a week, to fill a vacant position in the assessor's office out of the general fund. And because it's a vacant position, it will not cost you any additional money.
Okay, when is her start date?
Monday, May 10th.
May 10th. And I was hard hearing you. What's the pay grade or the pay grade or pay amount?
It's grade 2, 40 hours a week, 33,000.
33, okay, good deal. I move a motion to approve the hire for Mrs. Banks, employee for grade 2, 33,000, and her start date to be May 10th. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we need her name? I think it was Megan.
Megan,
Megan White? Okay, and we'll add Megan White.
Megan
Hi, I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you. Our speakers aren't working very well, so I apologize. All right, we'll make that correction to that motion, and we have a second. And any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next on our agenda is at 9:45, we're running a little early. Mr. Bob Trainer, Mayor of City of Charlestown, discussion of the Social Services Coordinator position, discussion action. We have a few folks from the City of Charlestown. If y'all want to come up, please, if you want to come up, please have a seat and introduce yourself. Or what? Welcome. The floor is yours. If you want to introduce yourself and your crew here today.
Yes, thank you for taking the time to hear us out. I'm Bob Trainer, the mayor of the City of Charlestown. I have with me Keith Lowry, he's the director of Jefferson County Community Ministries. Melissa Michi is our special projects manager. And I wanted to speak a little bit about our mayoral select committee on homelessness report. I hope that you got a copy of it. If not, I'll make sure you have a copy of it. And there is a copy on our website. So in specific, basically we've worked for about 18 months trying to address the homelessness situation. I gotta talk slower.
too much coffee.
To address, well, I'm intimidated. Plus my chair is real low, what's up? But to address the homeless situation in Charlestown and Jefferson County, because it's a countywide problem. So we got some experts and some stakeholders throughout the city and the county. And we were very happy to have Ms. Grove. She attended some of our later meetings and basically turned this into this is a county situation, a county problem. I think it's going to take all of us to come up with a solution to solve these problems. And we have some pretty good recommendations in our report. And so I don't know if you probably don't have a copy in front of you. I should have brought a copy. But on page 13, let me see if this. No, that's all right. Like little kids, you know. But maybe that's intentional. But I kind of wanted to talk to you about, we had 5 specific strategies we wanted to talk about to address the homelessness situation in Jefferson County. And I think what we found out, one of the main things we found out is, and I'll quote right from the report, is many of the elements necessary to address the causes and effects of homelessness more adequately are already in existence. So the second recommendation was to create a Jefferson County Social Services Liaison Coordinator position. So what we have found is there's a lot of resources out there, but those resources are not getting to the people who need those resources. There is no coordinated effort within Jefferson County to actually get a seat at the table for these organizations to bring these resources to Jefferson County. So the committee figured if we had a liaison position at the county level, or at least working for the county or answerable to the county, that they could actually have the seat at the table and have the authority to kind of I was going to say wheel and deal, but to actually, bring our needs to these resources, these state and federal resources, so to make sure that we can start tapping into those resources that already exist. So I know that there's some very tight budgetary situations, especially at the county level. Certainly appreciate that position, and Ms. Grove was very cordial to, she actually put together a draft position description. And I think that looked like the original cost would be like something like $75,000. So I know that Charlestown is willing to pony up some money to make this happen. But again, I know that our budgets are very, very tight, especially at the county level. I've talked to the mayor of Branson, and he's willing to support as well. He wants to kind of see what the county's doing. We could do it on our own, I think. Or Branson could do it on our own, we could do it in partnership. But I don't think it would have the weight as if the entire county was just like, yeah, this is very important to us. This is our position. This is what we're going to do. Again, I know there's some money issues, and so I don't want to, like, say, you got to write a check for me today. But I think what I'm really hoping to do is if we can sit down within the next couple of weeks and come up with a plan, because even though there may not be cash on hand, there's grant programs out there, and there's other ways that we can fund this position. I just think it's very critical is the opening salvo to start really making an effective change, effective solution to this problem. Brought with me Keith Lowry, and one of our other recommendations was to provide additional resources to our frontline organizations combating homelessness. And he's in a situation where they're going to face an $80,000 shortfall at the end of this fiscal year, which is the same as ours. I think it ends at the 30th of June. But that doesn't mean they're going to close their doors on the 1st of July or anything. But that means if they don't get funding resources to help them, they're going to have to curtail a lot of the services that they provide starting in fiscal year 22. So that's like $80,000 shortfall, I believe is what we discussed. And again, I know that there's a budget issue, and it's not like I'm asking you to write me a check or write him a check today. But I think if we can open this up to have further discussion to figure out how do we solve this, how do we work a deal, how do we make it work to where we can actually address the situations in Jefferson County. And I'll tell you what, we're a lot stronger and a lot more effective when we work together than when we're working at different, not working together. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. And really what I hope to have at the end of this meeting is possibly a commitment from the county commission to say, well, let's sit down on such a date and let's talk about this and let's see how we can make this happen.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and start. I agree with you. I'll be glad to meet and talk to you about this. Our finance director is sitting directly behind you, and Michelle.
Michelle.
And
I should get to know her better.
Yes. She's the one you want to take for coffee, for sure. But as far as like you get the nail on the head with COVID and everything, obviously our finances are strained, and we couldn't make any big changes to our budget this year and had to cut a few things. So it's something that we are very concerned about, something we want to tackle as a joint effort with the cities, and something I believe we're willing to come with an arrangement. I think the first thing we need to do, we get down that we have a description of this job and what the total would be. We maybe should figure out what the cost per city, per county will be. And then we can go back to Michelle and maybe try to figure this out a little bit. It might not be to next year's budget before we can put this in. And she has her hand up, so I'll let her talk too. So, go ahead.
My biggest recommendation would be that we need to apply for either FEMA or DHR funding, grant funding for this position. It's going to most likely require some sort of local match. And once we determine whether or not there's grant funding, we can then determine how that local match would be divided up amongst everybody else. But there also needs to be a backup plan so that if there is not grant funding, we need to discuss what will happen.
Yep. There you go.
No, I think we're starting to get there.
Yeah. So does any of the commissioners have any objections for Michelle looking in to helping us try to find some grant funding for this position? Ms. Tanner?
That would be fine with me.
Okay.
And I'm also going to contact our family extension agent and see if she has any knowledge of grants also, that she's fairly tuned into social services. So I'll see what she says.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Taft. Yeah, so I think this will be something we can get off to a start. Have Michelle, there's a consensus of the county commissioners agree that perhaps Michelle can help us help look for those grants. She's been very successful on other areas of the county, helping the health department find grants as well too. So she's very knowledgeable how to do that process. So there's a good start. I always say money can fix anything, right? This will certainly help fix the problem and help the problem sitting in the cities, so.
Working together, I appreciate that, and if there's anything that the city can do, Ms. Meeks is, she's a special projects manager. So yeah, we'd be more than willing to assist in that endeavor. City manager might get upset with me saying that, but I think he's on board as well. So yeah, so whatever we can do as well to get this to fruition, because I think the sooner we start addressing this problem in a holistic view, a holistic manner, I think the sooner we actually get a handle.
Well, I'm speaking for myself, but certainly I do want to be a partner with the cities and do what we can do to help. And we have a big team member behind you, Ms. Gordon, who do a good job finding the grant money for us. If there's anything out there, she'll find it.
There's out there.
Okay, she'll find it.
Great.
But I certainly do appreciate you all coming in, and I think we start there, we find the money, and I welcome y'all, thank y'all for coming today. Anybody else have any questions? I don't want to, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a direct question.
Okay.
And that is, I gave a presentation in front of the commission, I think it was February 25th, where I stated, we're providing a lot of services to the community that otherwise would be taxed upon the community to provide. But we are in a deficit position, and my budget year begins July 1st, and I have to submit a budget, but I can't submit a budget with another year of $80,000 in the hole. So at the time, it was, I think it's the fourth recommendation.
Yes.
That
Third.
the third recommendation that one county come up from assistance, that I remember at the time that somebody had said, well, what about the snow fund? There was $40,000 or something like that. My question is there a commitment from the county to help us with that deficit? Because if it's not there, then I have to go back and cut services that I'm providing, which then puts more service back onto the county. Currently we're seeing medical people providing medical and clinical services and preventing them from having to go to the emergency room, preventing EMS from having to go through things. We're working with the police departments to make sure that they don't have to waste their time going off on calls. I have to stop those services if I don't get any extra funding. So I lay it back up to you. Did you consider that in your budget process? And was there any resolution for that?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly did consider it, but with the COVID, and obviously our racetrack funds being down like $1 million, it was tough. Our county employees, unfortunately, we couldn't even fund the COLA or raises this year, and that's something I want to speak for Commissioner Ted, that's on top of her list. It's a concern for mine too. Go ahead, Michelle Wood.
I think we funded part of it. I don't have the documents with me, but I don't think we funded the full 40,000, but I think we funded part of it out of the whole severance fund, maybe 20,000. But I'll double check that number and I'll reach out to you and email and let you know how much was approved.
That would be wonderful, because I have to give a presentation next week on my budget.
I'll give you that this
Yeah.
afternoon.
I thought you were referring to the thing we funded you the same amount as last year, right?
I think it's actually more than last year.
Okay. Yeah,
We couldn't approve the full 40,000.
yeah, we couldn't approve everything, but I think we did approve something, yes.
That's all I needed.
Okay, yeah,
I just
Michelle.
want to know what
I'll email you this afternoon.
money equals for me, so I can.
No problem. I understand.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I thought that, I'm sorry, or I misunderstood your. All right, well, good deal. Is there any more questions with the commissioners, or do y'all have any more questions for us at this time?
I tell you, one of the positive things that's happened from COVID, if there is a positive thing, the fact that we're working together. And I think that there's nothing that this county can accomplish as long as we continue to keep that dialogue open, work together. So I appreciate Stephanie coming to our meetings. I appreciate the support here at the county commission. I kind of look at it kind of a bright day happening, so.
And I have one other comment, if I may.
Yes, absolutely.
On the 15th of June, JCCM is going to sponsor a coalition of service agencies. Because currently in Jefferson County, there's only one service agency that encompasses everything. That's JCCM. All the other service agencies are basically housed in Berkeley County or Morgan County or some other county. So we're having a meeting to bring together all of the people who are providing services within Jefferson County so that we get a better handle on what's coming and how we can better prepare as Jefferson County to serve the members of Jefferson County as opposed to being secondary after the state funds Berkeley County, then they pass the funds on to us. So one of the big things that we have, this goes back to supporting what the mayor talked about, if we have someone who can stand up and speak for Jefferson County with all of these different agencies and have a presence in Jefferson County, then we'll be more successful. But if you'd like, I'll send the invitation out to you folks so that you can attend if you'd like. Don't know the venue yet because we want to make this an in-person meeting as opposed to a virtual one. And so depending upon how many RSVPs we get, the venue will be different.
Well, let us know.
Okay.
If you want to copy all of us on that, all the commissioners, that'd be great. Absolutely.
I'd be happy to try to assist if I can with the venue, depending on your headcount.
Great, thank you very much.
And as we're looking for the funding, just one last thing. As we're looking for the funding for this position or whatever, we can certainly be more than happy to represent people. If one of you county commissioners want to kind of represent Jefferson County, we get to these type of venues. Say, yeah, we're coordinating these services for the citizens of Jefferson County. I mean, we don't necessarily have to wait for that liaison position to be in place to actually start getting a seat at the table.
I agree.
Do you have anything?
All right, guys. Thank you.
Really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Thank you for coming. And if Michelle doesn't have your contact information, please, if you have, give her your cards and we'll see. Yeah, she comes up and fucking finds these grants, so she'll be in contact.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really
All right,
appreciate it.
thank
Thank you.
Thanks, thank you, man. All right, moving on to item number 3, finance director, Mr. Michelle Gordon. Review and approval of 1 state budget revision 5 general county funds. We're going to talk about review and approval of FY21 state budget revision 2 for coal severance and review the Hartford Group life and voluntary life insurance renewal for FY22 to 23 2-year contract. I'm going to turn the floor over to Michelle Gordon, our finance director.
So state budget revision number 5 for the general county fund is recording adjustments to revenue and expenditures based on the year-to-date budget to actual information, and it's broken down into 4 components. The first component is strictly looking at revenue and expenditures based on the current year trends and offsetting those to transfers to capital outlay fund. So for the first part of it, we have the total occupancy tax. It's reporting a decrease of $300,000, and that money is 100% dedicated to 4 other places, so it's reducing your budgets by that $300,000. The hotel occupancy tax for Boulevard is money that we collect on their behalf and then remit to them solely, so that's just reporting an increase based on the trends for that. Our property transfer tax has increased by about $434,000. That's very reflective of the market right now, the housing market right now, where properties are selling and transferring on a pretty regular basis. The other major thing would be federal grants, reducing federal grant revenue by $240,000 to reflect the loss of the Governor's Highway Safety Program grant that funded 2 positions at the Sheriff's Department. Other major increases would be prosecuting attorney's office. It's not really a major increase, $7,500 based on a trend for professional services. They are actually working on a cold case file, so they may also have some additional expenditures that they not planned for in fiscal year 22. So the $7,500 relates to that. The assessor's statewide computer network, I'm increasing that by $17,000 because of COVID last year. They were extremely behind on sending invoices to us for remittance. And we actually just received several of the fiscal year 20 invoices to pay this year, so it's going to cause it to go over budget. It was way under budget last year, so it's just kind of reallocating that money. And then the increase to offset all of those increases and decreases would be an increase to transfers to the capital outlay fund of $432,000. The second part of that would be to record savings from our health insurance premium credit that we received for December of 2020, $160,000, reducing our health insurance line item and increasing our transfers to the capital outlay fund. Third part of that would be to record revenue and expense increases associated with the broadband study grant that is completely budget neutral. We had an increase. We had total cost so far fiscal year 21 of about 58,000, and we should receive grant revenue of 58,000 to offset that. Then the last part of that would be to set up the fiscal year 21 budget for in-kind contributions to the volunteer fire departments for the ambulance billing revenue that they currently retain for services provided by JCESA. Fiscal year 2020 was the first year we actually reported any kind of in-kind contributions, and the budget wasn't set up initially for fiscal year 21. So this is just setting up the budget for that actual adjustment. Any questions about the fiscal year, general county budget revision number 5?
Does anybody have any questions? Doesn't look like it, so, do we need a motion for that?
Yeah.
Does somebody want to make a motion to approve the revision 5? If not, I'll just go and make a motion, to approve the budget revision 5. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just clarification, that motion should say it's a revision for the general county fund.
That is a revision for the general county fund, for FY 2021. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
The second budget revision is for the whole severance fund. It's a small budget revision. And it's made up of 2 components: recording an adjustment for the outstanding purchase order that was created in fiscal year 20 that carrying forward into fiscal year 21, so that that budget line item doesn't go over budget. The second part of that is to record a budget revision for parking expenses associated with jury trials in the circuit clerk's office. This was actually approved by the commission on August the 6th of 2020 to provide approximately $1,200 to the county circuit clerk to provide jury parking. Any questions about budget revision number 2 for full severance?
Any questions, Commissioner? Nope, not seeing any. I'll move to approve the budget revision number 2 for full severance fund. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Now, the commission just approved your employment, so you will begin Monday as long as you still want the job.
Okay, that was not us.
Okay. And before I start on the Hartford Group Life and Voluntary Life, I did want to let you know that on May the 20th, I will bring back to you a proposal from our insurance broker for short-term disability and long-term disability, which is a new benefit that we've never offered before, but I'll bring that back to you on May the 20th. I just received the quotes for that. For Hartford Life, Group Life and Voluntary, Hartford is offering no increase to the current rate with a 2-year rate guarantee through fiscal year 23. It would expire on June 30th of 2023. Total employer expense for fiscal year 22 is estimated to be about $30,000, and it is already included in the approved budget. I do recommend approving the renewal of this contract and accepting the 2-year rate guarantee.
That's a good plan. Anybody have any questions? Move to approve the Hartford Group Life Voluntary Life Insurance renewal for 2022 and 2023 for the 2-year contract. Do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
I just have a couple things for you. 2 on each.
Sorry, good deal. That one, and I'll pull it back here. Oops. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is, yeah, item number 4 is Sean on? He's on.
I am on.
We'll move on then. Yes, all right. Item number 4, interviews and appointments to the Jefferson County Development Authority Board of Directors, 1 3-year term for citizens representative ending April 5th, 2024. So I think we had one applicant. It's, if he's on, we'll pull him up and there he is. There's Sean. Hey, Sean.
Good morning, Commissioners.
I guess I'll ask the first question. I know you're on the board currently, and I'll just ask a very straight up question. Why do you want to be on the Jefferson County Development Authority Board?
I actually have thought about that. What I actually came up with is I still enjoy serving the community. I enjoy helping to guide the direction of the future growth of the county. Not only for us, but for our children and now my grandchildren.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, thank you. Does any of the other commissioners have any questions for Sean? Go ahead, Ms. Stan.
Sean, what do you see as the, I don't know, maybe your goal or maybe your biggest obstacle, not yours, but on the JCDA moving forward? What is the challenges and what are your goals?
Fair question. My goals have not changed since the beginning of my first term. I still would like to see Jefferson County become a technological gateway, not just a gateway into the state of West Virginia. I don't think it's fair that 270 in Maryland and 20 and the airport bypass in Virginia get all the fun. I think that we have a lot to offer. The biggest obstacle I see is I think we still have a long way to go with training not only ourselves as board members, but the community at large.
Okay.
There's a lot of misconception that all manufacturing is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. I think we need to be selective, not just allow everybody in, but if it's truly a benefit to the county, we need to seriously look at them.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Do we have any more questions for Sean? All right. Hearing none, would somebody like to make a nomination for this board position?
I'll nominate Sean, is it Vega? Is that it?
It's me, Joe, but my mother gets it wrong too, ma'am.
Okay, sorry.
Wrong this whole time.
To the position as a citizen representative to JCDA ending April 5th, 2024.
Is there any other nominations?
I move nomination to be closed.
Nominations are closed.
I got it. I'm going to second the nominations to be closed.
Oh, sorry. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? That's unanimous. All right, does anybody, the nominations are closed. Would somebody want to approve the appointment?
I'll approve the appointment of Sean. I'm going to still butcher it, but Diego. To the JCDA board. Sorry.
Second.
It's fine.
All right, we have a motion and a second. There's any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you
All
for
right.
your service to the
I'm going
county.
back to work.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Jeff up or?
He's gonna appear.
Okay, all right, we'll jump.
He's on his way.
Okay, that's fine. We are running early. All right, we'll jump to unfinished business number 7. Recognize the structures and parcels in West Virginia forestry managed timberland programs, processes, agriculture. Nathan was supposed to do some research on that. Do you know whether he did or not?
I think he did. Nathan, are you there? So I can tell you that the reason they're not currently processed as agricultural, because the building code says agriculture processes differently, and the assessor says that the division of forestry managed timberland is not an agriculturally exempt property, so they don't consider the timberland to be an agricultural under the state definition, and that's how
That's what the Department of Planning and Zoning and Engineering for years has been using to determine whether a property is agricultural or not. If it's listed by the assessor as an agricultural property, then they process it under the agricultural. Here's the thing, you can probably tell you better.
Go ahead, Nate, if you want to jump on and.
No, I think Stephanie is correct. That's been it's been the procedure, at least of the I guess the planning staff, to refer these issues to the assessor, just so that they have a consistent determination based on what the assessor values as agricultural or not. And so it's my understanding, I've not specifically spoken to the assessor, but I think that she's taken the position, and Stephanie, if you have any information contrary to this, let me know. But I think that she's taking the position that if it is forestry management land, it's not agricultural. And was that your understanding, Stephanie?
Okay, so the assessor is saying that basically identifies forestry as not agricultural. Okay.
Yeah, I think the forestry land, I think they have a certain, some incentives if they're forestry land. But I don't believe that she identifies as agricultural. And so, you know, it would be to be consistent with the other recommendations or referrals that the staff makes over there. You know, I think that it would be referred to the assessor, and the assessor has that determination that she makes.
Okay, all right, so that's fair enough. I think if that's how we identify it currently, certainly if there's any, if for some reason they would see that as a definition of not being agriculture, I kind of see it as would be, but that's something we'll probably have to discuss at a later date, and certainly won't make any motion or discussion on that today then.
If I find out any, you know, additional information on that, I'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, I think because I always thought the timberland was considered agriculture. It was just a different form of forestry was ag, but certainly will, at least that was always presented to me. But if it's not, it's not. Well, if we see anything different, we'll certainly take a look at it.
They do get a tax, so similar to the ag exemption, there is a tax, there is a tax deduction or a lower tax rate for managed timberland, but according to the assessor, they're different. So agriculture and managed timberland are not the same.
Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, well, good deal. Well, we're going to move on to new business then. Proclamation Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. I'm going to turn this item over to Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, so I'm just going to read the proclamation. It's a proclamation of the County Commissioner, Jefferson County, West Virginia, recognizing Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. Whereas the National Police Week that is observed during the week of May 10th, 2021, and recognizes the contribution American police officers have made and continue to make through their dedication to enforcing our laws. And whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation that designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which that date falls as Police Week. And whereas National Peace Officers Memorial Day is designated in honor of federal, state, and municipal peace officers who have been killed or disabled in the line of duty, Police Week was established for the purpose of honoring and recognizing America's law enforcement community. And whereas Jefferson County, West Virginia is represented by law enforcement officers from Charlestown Police Department, Harpers Ferry Police Department, Ransom Police Department, Shepherdstown Police Department, Shepherd University Police Department, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and the West Virginia State Police. And whereas Jefferson County law enforcement agencies play an essential role in protecting the rights and freedoms of the citizens in our communities. And now therefore be it proclaimed by Jefferson County, West Virginia, that all citizens of Jefferson County are encouraged or be moved to recognize, honor, and appreciate the dedication and sacrifices made by our law enforcement community. And may we always recognize and appreciate that the freedoms we enjoy and treasure are only possible through the heroic efforts of these brave men and women. And be it further proclaimed that that the County Commission of Jefferson County, West Virginia hereby declares Jefferson County Law Enforcement Appreciation Week to be observed and recognized annually to coincide with National Police Week and during the week of May 15th, that is designated National Police Officer Memorial Day. And be it further proclaimed that the County Commission of Jefferson County, West Virginia urge all citizens to join with us during Jefferson County Law Enforcement Appreciation Week to honor those men and women who are serving and who have served valiantly and courageously to make Jefferson County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. So I'd like the Jefferson County of West Virginia hereby declares Jefferson County Law Enforcement Appreciation Week to be observed and recognized annually to coincide with Police Week and during the week of May 15th, that is designated National Peace Officer Memorial Day.
And is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries unanimous.
I'd just like to
Go
add
ahead.
one final thing. So there will be a token of appreciation presented to our all of our officers, law enforcement in the county in the coming weeks, thanks to a very generous donation by Rockwell. And I encourage other businesses to join in expressing their gratitude during the Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson, for doing all that work and giving that donation for our guys in blue. You do a great job out there, and once y'all know that, we certainly do appreciate you.
Our
Thank you.
guys and ladies, our guys and ladies.
Excuse me, thank you, correction, sorry. Thank you, Ms. Dan. All right, we'll move on to new business on number 9, discuss Article 147, Charlestown Utility Board 147, 23A, Board of Directors voting member 147.2, liaison voting member, discussion action. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Hudson.
Commissioner Solifer, Nathan says he had some legal advice pertaining to this agenda item that he would like to discuss in executive session.
Okay, we'll wait till you get down
If
there.
you want to wait.
We'll wait, yeah. All right, let's move to legislative updates.
All right, I keep this on here just to kind of round out as the legislative session, and we did get Senate Bill 89, which had the exemption for our Parks and Rec programs. That was one of our initiatives. Initially, the governor had vetoed it, and he wanted, and there were some other things in that as well, exempting some private institutions as well as Parks and Rec from those DHR regulations. There was some language the governor didn't like. They changed that, they took it back, passed through, and now the governor has signed it. So those programs should be exempt as of July 4th this year, because it's 90 days effective, 90 days from passage. So that's really great news for our Parks and Rec programs, like those summer camp programs, and people who go to the wild and some childcare as well. So they should be exempt from those. And then there's a whole host of tourism bills. The Airbnb bill passed. The bill kind of loosening some of the restrictions on alcohol sales passed, and that's, that came directly from COVID because they kind of loosened the restrictions during COVID to help businesses make money who were not able to serve in person. So those are codified, and I think that'll really help our tourism industry as well. If there's anything, in the coming weeks, I'll continue to keep this on here just to kind of update you if there's anything that I need to do. The bond for solar decommissioning, that bill did pass. And I had a question, are we still going forward with our decommissioning bond, or do you still want us to put that on the agenda? Or do we want to use the state policy? So I guess Do you want me to put that on the agenda for discussion?
Yeah, I think it'd be wise for us to
Okay.
at least take a look at this,
Okay.
what the state has passed. Certainly, it's illegal to have two bonds. Double
I
tax.
I don't think it is.
Well,
Our policy is much more stringent than the state policy. So I looked at it, and I don't think there's anything precluding the local government from having their own bonding policy. But I think if they had, I mean, DEP's is like 150,000 and ours is as much as that. So I looked at the law and I didn't see anything that would preclude us from passing it, but by the time we put it on the agenda, we'll have.
yeah, well, why don't we put it on the agenda for June?
Okay.
For the first Thursday of June. Just give us time to take a look at it and review that and maybe compare it to the draft that Nathan provided. And
Okay.
You'll give Nathan plenty of time to compare.
Okay.
Sound good to you?
Yeah, I'd like to see the side-by-side comparison so I understand the differences between the state and the local decommissioning. So-
Yeah, I think ours is a lot more detailed
It is.
from what I've seen.
Okay, good deal. Do you want to, you have any more legislative updates? All right, then what we'll do, Jeff just got here, so we'll just jump right into it here. Come on up. Yeah, we're running a little early.
Good. It's a very
Yeah.
busy day.
Yes, it's so next, we're going to move back to agenda item number 5. Jeff Polinsky, Director of Communications, request for approval of promotions to supervising public safety director dispatcher, and also advisement of shift schedule and training pay schedules. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. All the mics are gone. Is there,
Yeah, we can. Hear it.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So my first item on the agenda is request approval of promotion for supervising public safety dispatchers. You may be aware, we lost a supervisor to Loudoun County Government. Huge hit, makes a huge hole in our staff because this individual performed a lot of things in the center. So two candidates remained on the list from the 2018 assessment. Catherine King successfully passed the assessment center. She has accepted the appointment offer on April 26th. She's been a public safety dispatcher with the Emergency Communications Center for over 11 years now. She's a certified communications training officer. She sits on our policy and procedures committee. She'll be assigned to fill the supervisor vacancy on midnight, managing a team of dispatchers. And she's been afforded wage increase commensurate to grade and step of supervising dispatcher. I'd like to point out this wage increase is an actual savings in our budget due to the difference in the vacated position.
But it is more than 10% for the way she was making in pursuant to our policy. You have to approve that 10% increase. More than 10% increase. Under 10%, we can give it, we can't give over 10% without the commission.
Okay.
Can we just hear some numbers?
Sure. The job offer was made to her at $53,939. The job off, the wage that was vacated was $55,000. So her vacating as well, her $44,000 position actually saves the commission about $20,000.
All right, thank you. Is there any questions for Jeff? Hearing none, does somebody want to move the motion?
Motion to approve the promotional appointment of Ms. Catherine King from public safety dispatch to supervising public safety dispatcher, as well as a wage increase commensurate with the grade and step of the supervising public safety dispatcher within the Emergency Communications Center.
Can I ask you to add the in excess of 10%?
In excess of 10% for the wage increase is $53,939,
That would be her salary,
Her salary,
$53,939.18.
not the increase.
Correct.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
No.
Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Steve. My second and third items on the agenda are combined. The one thing that I want, I guess, ship schedule is first. I'll go through ship
Yeah,
schedule.
we just have a shift schedule, transfer.
Yeah, so currently the center works a 40-hour schedule, right? They're not considered public safety. Even though they're public safety, even though you, as the commission, have recognized them as public safety in the state of West Virginia have, the federal government does not consider. So so typically in 911 centers, many 911 centers work modified schedules that cover the 24/7, 365 lifestyle. And many schedules are what are considered a 7/12 schedule. And what that is that it's a 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days on, off, 2 days on, 3 days off. And it's in a 14-hour day or a pay period. They work 7 days. So we have 4 teams working that schedule. Because of FLSA requirements, it required us to move a short week or a 36-hour week and a 48-hour week into 2 40-hour weeks. And we've been working that for a long time. Stephanie, what do you think? It's about 9 years or so, 8 years? Yeah, and it required everybody to work on Tuesdays, 4-hour shift. And due to my staffing issues that we're having right now, I just received another resignation for another person who's pursuing, not wanting to be a 911 dispatcher anymore, and pursuing something else, that we're going to be down to 13 staffed members in the center. And you have a retirement coming up in July, so we're going to be down to 12 staff members, staff trained members, which is a concern because our minimum staffing is 3. I mean, no matter what, you've got to have 3 people in those seats to be able to do the functions that we do out there. And we have 4 teams, and so that gives us 0 cushion on staffing. Now, I do have 4 trainees currently undergoing training right now. They are promising prospective employees, or full-time dispatchers, but still, I still have this. My proposal is let's get rid of the 4-hour this Tuesday. What I want to do is I want to go back to what we had previous to when we went to this in what's called a 7/12 schedule. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a short week of 36 hours and a long week of 48 hours. So they're going to work 3 12s on one week and 4 12s on the next week, based on what the pay period is. That will add, well, number one, it will equitably distribute hours among staff, overtime hours among staff. Sometimes we have staff members that may not want to work overtime or are forced to work overtime. And then some that pick up so much overtime that it's burning these people out. And so this 7/12 schedule will equitably distribute that time. It will eliminate overtime on Tuesdays, but it will add some time that we're going to pay. We're always adding that finite, we're always paying that finite time, right? In 2 weeks, on any given day for 3 people, we have to pay, same exact amount of hours, whether it be overtime or regular. This will add a little bit more money pay out, but it will be paid from a different line. So you're looking at me like you're confused. I don't want to confuse you, and I'm going to end it. I want to go back to the 7/12 schedule. I want to tell you it adds 5 hours of regular time paid per week across the entire staff. And it is such a marginal amount of money that we're paying. It's still in my budget that it's a little bit more that we're paying out, but it's going to cover, I think, better. And the staff wants to go to this.
Is this a policy we can? It's-
Yeah, so the dispatchers hate this schedule.
Mhm.
And we used to pay them as first responders, and they're, you know, I'm sure you've heard the term that dispatchers are the first responders. But the FLSA doesn't create an exemption for them. So anything so they don't have, you can't base it on a pay period. It actually has to be over 40, you have to pay them time. But they're getting burned out, you know, and they're not on the ground, but they're giving the instructions, they're listening to some really terrible calls, you know, and so they're hearing it all. So it's, you know, it's just like any other first responder job with the mental load. So it is something that you can do. It does create somewhat of a pay increase just because now there's overtime built into the schedule. However, it's in the budget because our staffing is so low. So it's not going to cost you any money this year. It wouldn't cost you money until you became fully staffed. I also believe that it's going to cut down on us having to cover with part-time help or more overtime, because I think it'll reduce call-outs. So in public safety, whenever you switch your schedule to something that really gives more time to rest and recuperate, you'll see a reduction in call-outs. And I think that will happen with this schedule. So it is a little bit of an increase, but it's not, if you don't have to add anything to his budget because he's already got it in his budget right now, and probably will for the next couple of years, because it's going to take us a while to get fully staffed. We've got a lot of people who are eligible for retirement right now.
Right.
We've got 3 dispatchers who could retire tomorrow if they wanted to. So I think this will show the dispatchers like, hey, we hear you. We're trying to do something to make the working conditions better, and Loudoun County's coaching us like crazy. And I mean, they're coaching our, you know, they got Chris Croft, now they got one of our best supervisors, you know, for
Our radio programmer.
yeah. So now we only have Jeff as our radio programmer. To program radios. So I think I would recommend doing this because I think it's going to send a sign to the dispatchers like we're trying to do what we can for you to make this job easier and recognize it. So it is, at this point, it's budget neutral. If we get full staffing, it would not be budget neutral because of that increase, because of the built-in overtime, because they're going to get that 48-hour week is going to have that 8 hours of overtime built in.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Hearing none, would somebody like to move the motion?
Motion to approve the ECC request to change its shift schedule to 7/12 schedule.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
My last item, I'll be real quick, and I'm not going to confuse the issue here. So sorry about that. And again, Stephanie, thank you for that clarification.
Interpreting.
Yeah, I write all these notes and then I don't go by them. So our training pay. So dispatchers currently are, in order to be a trainer, we require the employee to show motivation to want to train new employees. So not all our employees are trainers. Some employees would not even be good trainers. We only have 7 active and certified communications training officers on shift, and they're or on staff, and they're certified through APCO. So currently, the training pay for the CTO is to perform and be responsible for training of a new employee. It's currently set at 5% of their base pay, and that's inequitable among staff. We have junior staff that show interest in training, but they're turned off by the fact that they put in or have to put in the same efforts. They're required and mandated to maintain the same standards, but they would make much less than what a tenured staff would. We want to fix the training pay issue and make it a fixed amount for the hours that they're training. So the suggestion or the recommendation by staff is to provide a $2 per hour additional amount to each trainer if they are actively training new dispatchers. So what they do, their responsibilities include writing daily evaluations, coaching, directing, correcting. They are plugged in and on the call with every dispatcher that's new, that's not certified in one of the 3 disciplines. They provide new and differing techniques. They have responsibility for managing that employee. We place a great deal of responsibility on each of our trainers, and we expect them to perform the same training. So my recommendation is to change the compensation to $2 per hour. It is equal to what Loudoun County is paying their trainers to train. And it provides equitable compensation to a junior trainer versus a senior trainer, and it's the right thing to do.
I'm just curious, so how long is a typical training program when you assign someone to do the training, like total hours?
The total hours, that's a great question. So we just finished training a new candidate from the start of their academy to the end was just under 12 months. It was one of the fastest, or two of the fastest that we have done, because I think we have streamlined some things in our academy. We just are getting ready today, or yesterday, but today's signing off a dispatcher that's been in our training program for much longer than what we wanted to, but we're signing her off and putting her out there. And so it's about anywhere between 12 to 14 months is on
But
average.
they're not under the headset with the training that.
So they're in an academy, so the trainer in the academy would be training 4 people, up to 4 people for 2 months. And then they are distributed out to the comm center on the floor, and they are then under the headset for about 4 months for training. Once they're signed off for the 2 disciplines, 4 to 5 months, they are then, we call it baking. We allow them to bake. So they work as a second person. They're not with a trainer at that time. And then we put them into the Fire Dispatch Academy. So the Fire Dispatch Academy instructor would be the trainer, and then they'd get put back out on the floor and they would be the trainer. So of the 12 months, they are with a trainer individually for about, I would say, 7 of those 12 months.
And what does this do to your budget?
It's minimal impact. I mean, we already have
it because of the.
yeah, it is no impact to our budget.
So just indulge me here for a minute with the training. So you said you had one come in, or one training, I guess, took place in under 12 months. What's the typical, the average training months? Is it longer than 12? What's that look like? Is it 18? Is it, how long?
So typically it's averaging, I'm going to say it averages about 14 months
Okay.
from the start of their work, start of their tenure, or start of their employment to when they're actually fully signed off of all 3 disciplines. So we train in 2 disciplines at the beginning. We teach them call taking and law enforcement dispatching. 2 months, they're in an academy. They're off the floor. They're in a setting that is completely simulation. They are then distributed among staff and among CTOs. After the academy ends, they're distributed out there. And it's about a 4-month process where they are with a certified trainer, and they are rotated among trainers as well, because day shift is different than mid shift, different types of calls. They get signed off of these 2 disciplines. They're then placed on the floor on shift to perform the 2 disciplines. So they're certified to be able to handle calls on their own and dispatching law on their own. It depends on how fast the teams, all of the trainees are trained, because we won't do a fire academy just for 1 or 2 employees. We want them all to come back into the fire academy. So when I say 12 to 14 months, 15 months, it really depends on how fast everybody is going as a group to bring them back into the fire academy, train them, and then put them back out.
So, and just another question, there's clear milestones for the trainers as to where the people are training should be.
Yes.
And if, does one hold the rest of the group up, or do you pull that one out, and put them in? How do you manage that if you've got someone that's not?
Somebody's lagging behind. So we have done, we have pulled individuals back into an academy setting
Right.
to perform, what did we call it? More intensive training for the area that they may have problems in. So we have done that.
This is probably one y'all wanted to know. I'm just curious. Thanks for indulging me.
Honestly, come on out to the center. I'd love to, give you the tour and, sit down and answer questions like this.
Is there any more questions? Would someone like to move a motion? Commissioner Mason?
Motion to approve the training pay modification and the ECC to $2 per hour for any individual providing active training as a certified communications training officer.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
No.
All, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you. Nathan Cochran, our assistant prosecuting attorney, is here. Obviously, we're going to be talking about our agenda item number 9, executive session. Nathan, can you tell us you can just tell us the numbers, certainly be fine by me, which items we do have to go into executive session, perhaps we'll just jump into executive session, discuss those real fast, and then jump out.
Yes, I would recommend that we go into executive session for item number 1 under my item number 6. For item number 3, there may be an element of that would be an executive session because it is a homeland security issue as far as a couple of those, as far as part of that. And then number 4 and number 7 are both related to a lawsuit regarding the solar text amendment. And number 6 is a Human Rights Commission issue. As far as number 5, I don't think that we will be discussing that one today. Probably bring it back maybe at the next meeting. So,
All right, good deal.
and I would recommend that we go into executive session to receive legal advice regarding those issues and also because of some potential liability issues.
All right, I do that we go into executive session.
I will second the motion and add some details. We are going to executive session for the reason of receiving legal counsel for the items on the agenda listed under 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7.
And 9. And 9.
Yeah, that's right.
And agenda item number 9.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Right, that's on the big agenda, yeah.
We have a revised motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll jump in executive session, but before jumping in directly in, we'll take about a 5-minute recess, okay?
I think Mr. Chairman, you need to call the, or I can call you. Will we call you?
Stretch your legs. That's why I said.
Oh, that clock's so long. 4 minutes. Oh, well, we're really doing great. You could just press disconnect.
Well, you know, I don't have a glass.
Yeah, fingers.
I can't see. Yeah. It's a way more fancy phone on you.
away from nothing, just so you know.
That's a way more fancy than I'm used to.
I don't think we were gonna. Are you gonna jump to?
I'm back.
Can you hear us okay, Jane?
Yep, that's good. Thanks.
All right.
You're good.
We're good, we're live. Okay, good deal. Well, welcome back. Do we have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
We have a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimously. All right, we're coming out of executive session. We want to talk about the report of council and previously assigned commission creation of Jefferson County Fire Board, Jefferson County Emergency Ambulance Service, and organization of Jefferson County Emergency Services, including potential structure, financial issues, and matters related.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for staff to explore and develop a plan to improve ambulance service in Jefferson County and authorize the same staff to seek assistance from outside consultants to help devise this plan if necessary.
Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're going to move on to discussion item number 9. Discussion Article 147, Charlestown Utility 147, Board 023, Board of Directors voting member, and 147.02, liaison voting member. Mr. Caleb Butts, I'll turn this over to you.
Yeah, I've had a few people come out and reach out to me that they would prefer a county commissioner be the voting member on CTUB. Just they think it would hold more weight in decisions. And it's originally what the commission wanted. So I wanted to bring it before y'all for a discussion.
Does anybody have any questions about that? Hearing none, you want to move a motion on this? Or is that your motion?
Yeah.
All right, motion, we have a motion by Mr. Hudson to basically make the recommendation to the Charlestown Council, City Council, this change. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're going to move on to revised agenda policy.
It's in print, my changes, and they don't show up in the packet, so I printed it out for you guys, the changes that I made to the policy. And then I'm gonna put it up on the screen here in a second so you can see the changes as well. So some of this is just basic formatting. As I was going through it, I didn't like the way it was formatted, so I tried to format it in the way that our other policies are formatted. The first significant changes on page 2 appears in blue. This is a request that, or it requires anybody who makes an agenda request that contains an impact to their existing budget or contains a funding request will be required to go to the county's finance director before moving quickly on the agenda. And that way it gives Michelle an opportunity to review it before the commission sees it, so we know exactly what's being asked for. It doesn't require the person, it can be someone, they can designate someone. I also put a control in there that the finance director would have to review it within the timeframes contained within this policy, so that there could be an allegation that Michelle would just never review it and it would never get on the agenda. Or whoever is the finance director at the time. And then it just basically says that until they meet with the finance director, the item will be withheld from the agenda until they do. And you want, I mean, I can read you if you want me to read it to you.
No, I think that's fair enough. I do appreciate you putting that on there.
And there's a few more changes that I made since I was
Sure.
here. At the bottom, I took that language out because it seemed a little preachy to me and just superfluous. I don't think we really needed it. It's not, that doesn't really add to the policy. The policy is what it is. We say how people can get on the agenda and what items can be discussed. So I just thought that language wasn't really needed, so I took it out. And then I did make another change, and this is for the staff and not really me, but Sammy and Jessica who prepared the packet and the agenda. It has it being released by the close of business, and that is consistent with the Open Meetings Act. That as long as we have it out by Monday on the close of business, we meet the open meetings requirements. So I changed it from 2 p.m. to the close of business.
Okay. All right, good deal. Do we have any questions regarding this? If anybody? Is there a motion to approve this new revised agenda policy? I'll move it. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion?
Yes, this is Jane.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Jane.
I don't know exactly where to put it in, but in the policy. But I'd like to offer an amendment that the public comment on our agenda should occur after the initial approval of minutes, accounts payable, manual checks, and payroll. So I'm offering an amendment to the motion that in the policy, the agenda policy, that the public comment be put in at the beginning of the meeting after the initial approval of minutes, accounts payable, and manual checks plus payrolls.
All right, thank you. I don't hear a second to that amendment.
I'll second.
Okay.
I think it's very important to have the public comment relatively at the beginning so people have a clue, time-wise. That's very important for the public, not only to speak, but also to listen. And then I think it's most relevant because they need to be making their comments known before we act on any item on our agenda. I really want to make sure we're as accessible as possible. Some people write emails. I used to get tons of phone calls, very rarely, but I do think, especially if we ever go back or get back to in-person meetings where we can let the public in, it's very important. Because the end of a meeting, we never know what time that will be.
So do we vote on are we going to vote on the revised agenda policy, then the amendment? Is that how we should do it, proceed?
It should be the amendment to the policy.
The amendment first, and then if the amendment is included, then you vote on the policy including the amendment.
Okay.
Because it's an amendment to the motion.
So we'll vote on the amendment first. All right, so we have a motion to amend our public policy for a public comment. We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion?
Yes, I actually have a comment. We don't specifically say in the policy when public comment is to be made. So you're making an addition to the policy is what you're doing.
I didn't hear all that. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, we do not call out in the policy as to when that public comment. So your motion is to make an addition to the policy. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, good deal. Any more discussion? All right, call the question. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Aye.
It's a tie 2-2, so it fails. All right, so, the next, motion was to approve the revised agenda that Stephanie, sent us. And we talked to discuss, and we have a motion on that and a second. Any more discussion? All in
Well,
favor? Go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm going to be voting against this agenda policy because it does not require that public comment be at the beginning of the business meeting. I'm very disappointed that the amendment did not pass.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Okay, motion carries 3-1. Thank you. Approval of bills?
So Josh was our bill approver for the commission, so we need someone else to do it. And
I did it 2 years before he did.
it is a remote, it's on Tyler, so you don't have to come in to do it. You get a login from Tyler and you can do it virtually. So it doesn't even require you to come in and see us. You already had access to Tyler, so I was gonna nominate you, but I didn't.
All right. So,
I hadn't talked to you about that, so I didn't.
I need some training on Tyler.
Michelle can show you how to do that if you want, or I suppose maybe people could do.
we need a motion for this?
I believe that you do because you need to designate someone to approve this on behalf.
Okay.
Or you can do it by unanimous consent if everybody. is unanimous in that.
I'll move a motion to have Commissioner Jackson take care of the approval of bills.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Discuss ambulance fee collection.
I'm gonna move that to the next.
Sounds good. Impact fee status. Oh, I skipped over. County Commission reports. That's us. So do you have anything, Commissioner Jackson?
Well, I will update just on the fact that we finally had the meeting between the Fire Association, JCESA, and the commission, which most of you all were on. And a lot of ideas pitched around. I think they were grateful that we had it. I don't know what kind of progress exactly that we made with it, if any, but lots of food for thought that came out of that meeting.
As far as the Visitors Bureau, just wanted to let everybody know they are now open. It's a beautiful building. I do encourage everybody to go down and visit. Yeah, Commissioner Hudson.
Nothing major that Tricia didn't speak on.
All right, Mr. Taft?
Yes, just had an Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority meeting, and they are struggling financially. Unfortunately, due to COVID, they lost their contracts at Mark and Shepherd. So, and they are in desperate need of CDL drivers, CDL approved drivers. They're just, and they've had to cut a couple routes due to those two issues. So they're working through it, but it's pretty tough. We had a broadband committee meeting, and I think we're making progress. You know, we're learning of where we need to target the resources, and of course, looking for the money to do it, to make it all work. And also, like the rest of you, I attended the joint fire ESA county commission meeting virtually. A lot of thoughts expressed, no magic answer. It's just going to take some hard work.
I agree with you 100%. Thank you, Commissioner Taft. Next is on the agenda, applications being accepted for county commission.
So we did put out the notice. We have the applications due, I believe, on Friday before the May 20th date. We did not require them to be from a district because the law does not require them to be from the district that the vacancy occurred in. However, we did provide that they need to be registered as a Republican because Commissioner Compton was a Republican. The state law requires now, it's different for those of you who are on the commission when Arizona vacated. At that time, they could change their party and come in and apply. But now you have to have been registered 60 days before the vacancy occurred. So that was a change that took place in 2018. So I put March 2nd as the date that they would have had to have been registered as Republican. I believe we received 4 applications thus far. And we'll forward this to the county commission. I think you need to decide whether you want to interview every applicant. It doesn't look like we're getting the influx like we did for Commissioner Bell. But when we replace that commission vacancy, I believe each commissioner chose 3 candidates that they wanted to interview. And you had mentioned that maybe you wanted to make that meeting a hybrid meeting so that we could interview the candidate in person.
Yeah.
Because that would normally be an all virtual meeting.
Yes, so the May 20th meeting, I would like to have that as a hybrid meeting. If we're going to interview these folks, we can certainly bring them in one by one. And that's what I wanted to kind of ask the consensus of the group. Obviously, if somebody sends in an application and they clearly do not qualify by state code, that they were a Republican 60 days prior to this position becoming open, I have absolutely no intentions of putting their resume in our file to interview. My question to my fellow commissioners, I do know it's a contentious subject. State law does not require us to only interview, or they say it says we don't necessarily have to appoint somebody from the city of Charlestown district. But what's your thoughts on only interviewing folks from the Charlestown district and shorten the list up even further? I think it's, to me, I'll just share my thoughts. I think it's very important that we do have somebody from that district to represent that district. So that's just my thoughts, and I wouldn't be unopposed to just interviewing just Charlestown residents or Charlestown Magisterial District residents.
And just so, Commissioner Compton would have had to have run, his term was up anyway, but they have to run in the next election. So obviously, anybody you appoint outside the district would not be able to run in the election.
Exactly. So that's my thoughts, is just to interview people who are qualified Republicans that currently live in that district. What's your thoughts? Y'all want to share your thoughts? We can take a consensus, and then we'll know who to call in for the May 20th meeting, whoever sent, as far as who sends in his applications.
I concur with what you're thinking is, and so that district is represented.
Okay.
That we focus on those from that specific district. Also, I haven't sat through this before, I know how to do interviews in general, but do we do a bank of questions or do we go on the fly? And the reason I'm asking is I want to make sure we're consistent. Same questions to every candidate that applies.
So we can make a bank of questions. Sandy has been handling this because I was on maternity leave when Commissioner Bell's vacancy occurred. But we can certainly do a bank of questions. That's what we do. If the commission is interviewing for any employment, sometimes we'll bring a department head in for a commission interview. We always do a bank of questions then. So we could do it just like that, have the commissioners submit their questions and I can prepare a list, send it out to you. And then, you can move through.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would prefer that. I don't know how the other commissioners feel, but so there's no bias and no potential open door for any type of discriminatory.
No, I
questions.
think we need to ask all of them the same question. Do you agree, Commissioner Tabb?
I would like the leeway, just depend. Sometimes you're reacting to a candidate and you want to do follow-up. We are not doing a quote typical employment job interview. This is basically for an elected official that's not elected, but it's a little bit different. And I would like to have the leeway to ask any question that occurs to me during the interview. I've done this before, and you all have done interviews, but this is a little different than something for employment. So I will use common sense. But
what's your thoughts on having a list of questions and then opening up to the floor of the county commissioners afterwards? So we kind of have the base of 5 or 6 questions, asking those questions, and then opening up to the floor.
Yes,
think-
that's fine with me.
Okay,
I tend to think that's what, I did the Eric Bell thing while Sandy also was involved. But it was, a chaotic experience for that one, more so than this one. But I think that maybe we did that in the Eric Bell replacement there was a set of questions and commissioners asked follow-ups as they wanted.
Yeah.
I tend to think that was
Okay.
what happened.
I'm not opposed
But I'm
to
not
clarification or anything
Yeah,
like
no.
that. I just, we gotta stick to I'm just saying stick to the subject of
Okay.
Right.
what the question is or the content of the question.
so just so we're clear and everybody's clear, we will have these interviews on the 20th. It'll be a hybrid meeting.
You're gonna do a hybrid? Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, ma'am. And we will have a list of questions with follow-up. Obviously, we will not put in the application to review anybody who is obviously doesn't qualify by state code as a Republican or does not live in the Charlestown district. Do we have the same consensus on that across the board? Go ahead, Jane.
I'm not, I don't have the current list of people that have applied. I understand your point of view about the Charlestown district, but I still would like to leave it open. We might be down to one person, and I just think we need to evaluate and everybody that we think would be qualified. It is not required to be in the Charlestown district. So, that would certainly be part of my consideration of any candidate that would be interviewed. That would be part of my evaluation criteria on a personal level. But we've advertised it this way, and I think that's the way we should go forward.
Okay, fair enough. Is there ever, does the consensus of the other commissioners agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right, that's how we will move forward. We will have them come in May 20th, and obviously they have the option to do it hybrid, remote or live. And we will interview them just as we would any other appointment like we did today for the JCDA. Okay?
And I'd just like to point out when we go, when we're doing, this is a process that we created to go really above and beyond what the requirements are. And I'd like to point that out to the public, because sometimes I think, they don't realize how much the commission goes above what is required by law. So, the interview process and all of this is something that we created to be more transparent. And, really vet candidates. It's not required by law that you bring them in and interview them. It's not required. I mean, you guys could come with how many ever people make the nominations and appoint them without ever even seeing their resume or anything like that. So I just wanted to point that out, really for the public to say, this is something that we've created a process to try to make it more transparent and more organized for the commission and for the public. So I just wanted to.
Yeah, and I concur with that. We're doing more than is required. But I mean,
And that's not, I'm not
what
saying
you're
that that's
all-
wrong, I'm just.
Sure. No.
Because sometimes I think the public is like, well, they did, they should do this, they should do that, but we're going above and beyond.
Okay, good deal. All right, awesome. All right, we'll move on to quarterly reports from the planning and zoning.
So that's just the correspondence that you received, it's in your packet.
Okay, good deal. All right, we'll move back up the list to public comment. Do we have anybody in that said chat? Comment? And if they do, we'll have, what do we do normally, 2 or 3 minutes, 2 minutes? Or
You do,
3 minutes, okay.
hold on, let me get my packet.
Don't have any.
Okay, I think we have already 3 people who have raised their hand. If there's anyone else who would like to make public comments, you can use the raise your hand icon, or you can send me a message and I will put you to allow you to make public comments. The first individual who's raised their hand is Stacy Tab. Tab, I've unmuted you, and if you.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great, thank you. I haven't prepared a public comment ahead of time today, but just listening into this meeting and viewing some things that have been going on lately, I just want to take my time and speak to that. Number one, when you had the appointment today to the JCDA, And Sean had stated that he doesn't believe that people are quite sure what light manufacturing may be. Perhaps this would be an opportunity for the JCC or staff to explain to the public what is qualified as light or industrial or manufacturing. The public worked on the comprehensive plan. There was input given. People accepted that. And this community had been happy for many years as the county follows the plan. Whenever the county starts to deviate from that, that's when people have questions. That's when they want to be heard. That's when they want to be part of the process, when things start to not make sense. Rockwool is clearly heavy industrial manufacturing. There's no doubt about that. That was never intended for this community. Burr Business Park, industrial area. Everyone knew what to expect. The community wasn't up in arms over the years as new businesses moved in. TEMA came in, there's a few questions. They're melting plastic. Is this going to go into our water? What does it mean? We understand, we move on. Now there's this rezoning request in front of us for Jefferson Orchards. That hasn't happened yet. Yet you look at the West Virginia Development website and here's Jefferson Orchards listed out there for possibly 400 acres, industrial, rezoning application pending. That is not even how it has been presented. It was presented to the public as 43 acres, a light industrial zone. For 226 acres is planned for residential development. The JCDA doesn't advertise for other residential properties out there. Are we doing free advertising now? Representation for a private property owner? This community had a vision, and we'd like to stick to that vision. If it's thought that maybe light industrial goes in a rural zone, I don't know. But that's up to the public to decide, for you guys to listen to our comments, not minimize this. There is not going to be a return of peace in this valley if we're pushing the boundaries at every opportunity and taking these risks. This is not what was intended. This is not Jefferson County. So I'd like to just put that out there. Your public comment and the change to the policies within there, you know, again, on this agenda, for some reason.
Thank you, Ms. Ted. Do we have anyone else?
We have about 3 people. Deborah Johnson. Ms. Johnson? Ms. Johnson, you need to unmute yourself. Deborah Johnson? Christine Marshall? Ms. Marshall?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to speak to 147 and the change that was proposed by Commissioner Hudson and was approved. I am very disappointed that this change has been made. I think that the change was that was a citizen representative that was non-political, that was looking out for the citizens of the community as far as rates are concerned. And now that the change has been made, I hope that the county liaison will attend the meetings. Since this 147 had gone into effect and a member still on the CTUB board, the county liaison has rarely attended. And when they do attend, whether it was Commissioner Compton or Commissioner Hudson, they don't stay for the entire meeting. And they can't possibly give feedback to the county commission, accurate feedback, if they don't attend the meetings. And I please encourage them to accurately reflect to the commission what's going on in the CTUB meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anyone else?
We'll try one more time. Ms. Jonathan?
Anything else on the agenda?
All right, if there are no objections, we're adjourned. Thank you.
From the office.